Solar flash is here. We are experiencing it. The ascension symptoms are exploding for all star seeds and light workers. Is this the last chance for an easy ego death? Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard, and as I'm speaking to you right now, and you hear the little bell agreeing with me, we are being bombarded with major amounts of solar radiation, unprecedented. I mean, there hasn't been solar storms like this many packed together. I don't think there has been in my lifetime anything close to this. We are having record-breaking G5 solar flares, coronal mass ejections, and they're happening rapid fire, and each one of them by themselves is enough to be a record-breaking solar storm. So this is starting to look like what the Carrington event was in, way back in the 1800s. So we are in it. And in case you don't know, we did a live guided interdimensional meditation. This was probably 3 weeks ago, and we specifically went, if you were there, you remember, we went to the center of the galaxy and we got a bunch of gamma radiation, of course in meditation in our astral bodies, and we went through a wormhole to the sun and we jam-packed and sent huge amounts of this energy to the center of the sun, and then we released it. You remember that? And then it was a few days later, all of a sudden, these solar storms started showing up and building up. And after we did that meditation, when I went and contacted, in fact, right after we did that meditation, and I went into my personal interdimensional meditation and spoke with higher dimensional beings, they said, we need you to back off. Which I'm like, what? What do you mean back off? I mean, I'm just a human being meditating. What are you talking about? Like, you have no idea what you just accomplished. You and the people that were meditating with me, they told me that we created this, that what is happening right now is a result, direct result of our meditations. So this last meditation we did was to help people balance this energy, because these waves are still coming. I don't think they know when this is going to stop. Is this the beginning of the ascension? Is this the beginning of the solar flash event? It's definitely part of it. As you know, higher dimensional beings told me in 2022, when I asked them what the event was, they told me it was a series of solar waves, that was going to hit the earth and shift everything up. Now, the problem is, shifting to 5D is very damaging to the three-dimensional ego. And there's plenty of spiritually minded people who still have a 3D ego. It's nothing wrong with that. That was built into this three-dimensional video game. So don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty that you are going through ascension symptoms. Listen, I'm going through them as well. You want to know what they are? Let's take a look again at what the ascension symptoms are. Intense anxiety. This is, I've been feeling this nonstop for I don't know how long. And I have to constantly stop myself and do the routines that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you some routines that you can use. I've given you two versions depending on how you want to look at this. So let's talk about that for a second. So you have three choices when it comes to this ascension. The ascension is happening. You can't stop it. You can't decide for it not to come. It is coming. And again, the little bell agrees with me. This ascension is coming. And so you have three options. You can either hold on to what you understand, which is what most people are doing right now. It's like trying to hold on to a tree in a tornado. Your legs are flapping in the wind behind you and you're barely holding on, and the tree's roots are starting to come out. It's not going to work. It's going to make things worse. That is something you need to understand. As this energy is hitting, we are going through, as this energy is hitting, we are going through this ascension event. So these higher dimensional waves are hitting Earth, and the ascension event is the prism. You can see the light is shifting into different colors, and we're going to end up with 3 different Earths. We're going to have, whoops, where is that 3 Earth? Well, you know which one I'm talking about. The 3 Earth that we're going to end up with is going to be, is that it? Yeah, you're going to have a 2D, a 3D, and a 5D Earth. So if you are hanging on to what you understand, you're going to get dragged down to 2D. So here's the thing everybody needs to know. Everybody's going to feel this. Everybody's going to have ascension symptoms. Yeah, having ascension symptoms doesn't mean that you're more spiritual or less spiritual. It's just what's happening to everybody's 3D program. Because again, the 3rd dimension is being deleted. So you have 3 choices. You can hang on and go to 2D. You can flow with it, accept it, and perhaps be in 3D. Or you can shift up to what people are calling 5D. These are just words. 2D is a lower, less desirable, even worse apocalyptic world than one we're in. The 3D one is probably going to be about the same, but there's still going to be a lot of issues. It's for people who aren't ready to completely let go of their 3D ego. And then the 5D is going to be the higher frequency of the 3rd dimension, which we're calling 5D. And this is where we're going to be living in peace, in harmony. It's going to be a heaven on earth, but it's very challenging to go from 3D to 5D. It's just like those werewolf movies when you're going through it and your body's changing. That's what's happening. So don't get down on yourself because this is difficult. It's challenging for me. I can feel it. And every part of my 3D mind and ego wants to look for some drama to get upset about. And it's crazy. And it's so off the charts that I have to stop and go, what is really happening? And I look at my life. Do I have everything in order? Do I have everything I need? Yeah, maybe I wish I had a little more of this, and maybe I wish I had some of that, but none of those things are really that big of a deal. There's no major crisis looming. Nothing like that is happening, and yet I'm emotionally wanting to react like that. So I'm really having to keep an eye on myself. And what I've come to find out is that there's 3 ways we can respond to this. We can either hold on, as I said, hold on to your ego, which is the worst idea. You're going to be miserable. And there's no shortage of people, spiritually minded people, love and light people who are absolutely coming apart. I know many of them. And these are people, if you ask them, they would say, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not into money or any of that stuff, love and light, but they are completely falling apart. They are total victim. They're responding from fear and victim mentality. They're homeless. They're sick. Their bodies are falling apart. And that's a very real thing. And even though they have the desire to be spiritual, they're still holding on to resentment, anger, fear, victim mentality, and they're doing the same things they've always done with their defense mechanisms. I have no judgment against them. They're doing the best that they can, but you've got to do something different. So that's the first thing you can do, is just hold on. The second thing you can do is to seek to ground. So grounding is very good. There are practices that I teach here that help you to stay grounded. And then there's the third way, and this is the one I'm going to recommend. If you do this, I'll even say this, if you do this third method, I can guarantee you will shift. And that method is to lean into it. Just accept it. This is coming. Your 3rd dimensional ego is being fried. It's literally being deleted. And the feelings that you're having, the intense anxiety, the fear, the drama, the physical issues, these are all resistance. Your unconscious 3D mind is resisting it, and you are experiencing all of that. So just accept that that's going to happen and lean into it. And leaning into it says, I know that this is going to shift me. So imagine you're going to turn into a werewolf, and instead of complaining about all the, oh my God, my bones are popping, and instead of just complaining about it, get into it, lean into it. This is what happens. This is a great thing about weightlifting. I like to stay healthy with that, and I go to the gym regularly. And when you want to gain muscle, you don't go in there going, gosh, I hope this isn't challenging. I don't want to be out of breath. I don't want my muscles to burn, and I don't want to be sore the next day. And if you go into the gym and say, how can I do that and get big muscles? The gym owner is going to go, what are you doing here? But that's what's happening if you want to go to 5D and you don't want to go through this ego death, and you're going to try and prevent that from happening. It's like going to the gym and lifting a lot of weights and not expecting to have the weight push back at you. So what do? You go in there, you hype yourself up, you go into it, and you lean into it. So I've got some oh, sorry, that's something else. That's also something else. I have the Ascension leaning into 5D energy routine. And I'm going to get into that in a second here. So 3 things you can do. Hold on, bad idea. Try and ground yourself, which is a good idea. And there are ways to do that. Doing some of the basic Qigong will do that. But I don't think that's the best way to do it. And then leaning into it. So leaning into it, I want to talk to you about higher dimensions. I'm not going to get into this. I'll have to make longer videos about this. But imagine a 2-dimensional being. He can only go up and down and backwards and forwards. He can't go, he can go north and south, east and west on a flat plane. He can't go up and down. And he's stuck in a box. And he thinks he can't get out. In fact, he's thought of everything, but he can't get out of the box. Now, you look at him in his 2-dimensional plane, and you would go, well, just go over the line there. Just step over that little line in front of you. Just a tiny little line. Just step over it. What is over? Well, you have to go up and then to the other side. Here, let me show you. And you can put your finger in, lift your finger out and put it back in outside the line. All he's going to see is that something looks like a finger shows up and then disappears. He's going, well, I don't know what you're doing. You're appearing and disappearing in my little plane of view. So you have to teach him about up. You have to pick him up, take him up, and then around. Now, he's not going to know how to handle that because he's never seen up before. He can't even comprehend up. But that's because you live in 3 dimensions. He lives in 2 dimensions. Now, imagine that you're his friend and you are committed to helping him. You're going to, if he can't figure it out, you're going to literally pick him up and put him over the wall. So he's going to say, I have this higher dimensional friend in the 3rd dimension, and this being can pick me up and put me in different places, and people will go, what does that look like? And I'll show you. And he all of a sudden disappears and then reappears again. And they'll say, what happened? You disappeared. And he said, no, I didn't. I went up and over. And they go, what is up? I don't know what that is. You're crazy. And they think it's magic or they're losing their mind. So this is what's happening, those of you who are doing interdimensional meditation. I've been thinking about this a lot, but those of you who are doing interdimensional meditation, maybe you're having the same experience as I am. When higher dimensional beings speak to me, I don't hear a voice, none of that. What I get is a telepathic message, and there will usually be a very powerful energy. Some people feel it like a jolt. Some people feel it like a very blissful wave that goes through the body. Some people will feel it like a pressure on the chest combined with a blissful wave, or it might even be an intense wave and you're frightened because you've never felt it before. But when you think about it, it's very pleasant. And that is very simply what that is that's a higher dimensional being interacting with you. You can't see them. You can't see them any more than a 2-dimensional being would be able to see you. you could pick them up and put them over the wall, and they probably wouldn't see the up part. They would just, one minute they'd be inside the little box, and the next minute something would happen, an intense feeling, and they'd be outside of the box, and they go, how did I get here? And then they would say, well, you disappeared and appeared, and it was magic. But the third dimensional being goes, there's nothing magic about it. I picked you up. You picked me what? Up, and put you on the other side of the wall. So in the third dimension, there are beings that all of the light beings you're interacting with are in the fifth dimension or above. They're not part of our dimension, but they can fully interact with it. But when they do, your experience will be something strange is happening that you don't understand. They could be doing things around you and you would never see them. There are things available to you that aren't in the third dimension, but they're literally right next to you. You can't grab onto them because you're a third dimensional being, but a fifth dimensional being can grab onto it and, connect you to it. So this is what's happening. These higher dimensions are moving through you. You look in your third dimensional vision, you don't see anything, but you feel all this intense energy. This is what we're experiencing. And so when we lean into this, we are leaning into changing our dimensionality, which means that our third dimensional mind is going to have a lot of problems. So you can do this passively, which means you're going to have all of these symptoms: intense anxiety, emotional sensitivity, fears and paranoia, increased spiritual awareness, psychic awareness, physical detox symptoms, dreams and visions, visitations, confusion, feeling like you're in two worlds. You have two people having the same ascension experience, and one person can get really tired and depressed and they can't get out of bed. The other one can't go to sleep because they're so amped up all the time. Other people are going to feel like super amounts of energy going through their body, and other people are going to get like rashes and physical pain, and that joint pain comes up out of nowhere. This is all your unconscious 3D mind fighting against these shifts. So I'm going to give you how to lean into it, because I think this is the best way to go. Just accept this is difficult. Just accept that your 3D mind is going to resist, and you're going to experience that in various levels of discomfort. Just accept it. Just like when you go to the gym, you know that you're going to be tired afterwards, your muscles are going to burn, you're going to be sore the next day. And you appreciate it. So get that mindset about this shift. Get out of any victim mentality and get into leaning into it. Here are the two, sorry, that's not what I want to do. Where did it go? Is that it? What did I do with it? It's right there. Sorry, here's the leaning into the 5D energy routine. Sorry, I am so, the amount of energy that's gone through me, I'm a little loopy, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm leaning into it, and it's a crazy, intense, right, but part of it is I get a little loopy. So leaning into the 5D energy routine, there's a beginner routine and an advanced routine. So here's the beginner's routine. Start with summoning the immortals, Qigong. Then do your own, and then go on and watch one of the guided interdimensional meditation videos. Let me guide you through interdimensional meditation. Come out of that, do a Vedic mantra if you have one, and then close by doing the Heaven-Earth Qigong meditation. So listen, the truth is that whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced, you can do both of these, either of these energy routines. But I know some people, they come, they say, I'm new at this, and they don't want to go diving into the deep stuff. That's okay. So let me explain to you how this first one is going to work. The summoning the immortals. If you go to the shop and you look, where is it? If you go to the shop and you scroll down, you're going to see summoning the immortals. So if you don't already have it, get that. That is probably one of the highest level meditations that I have, and I've still got it very affordable. It used to be free on the channel. It's now only found on the shop. Get that. So get that, go and do the Summoning the Immortals at the shop, and that's at thunderwizard.com. Go to thunderwizard.com, click on shop, and then scroll down and look for that, Summoning the Immortals. All right. And then guided interdimensional meditation. So that's easy. You just go onto the free YouTube channel, and on the free YouTube channel, you go and you just find any one of in the live section, find any one of the recorded guided interdimensional meditations, unless I happen to be doing one live that day. And then just put on your headphones and just, if you want, just fast forward to the meditation part and listen to that. As soon as you're done with that, then do your Vedic mantra. If you don't have a Vedic mantra, that's okay. Skip to the end. And the end is do the Heaven Earth Qigong meditation. Now, the Heaven Earth Qigong meditation is one of these practices that is it does everything for you. And the reason why I'm giving this in the beginner section is because it's very grounding. But it literally activates your central channel, which is your pineal gland. And this is a great way to start opening the pineal gland and get yourself connected. And you can find the Heaven Earth Qigong meditation again at the shop. So when you go to thunderwizard.com and you click on shop, right up there, you'll see at the top the rune shamanisms, and then you scroll down until you go past these Qigong, and beneath that you will find, or somewhere around there you will find, the Heaven Earth Qigong Hole Tir Qigong meditation. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And if you do it, it will literally do everything for you. In fact, if somebody came to me and they said, you know what, I'm not very physical, or maybe, they've got a physical limitation, and they can't do a whole lot. Maybe they're just in a wheelchair even. And if they said, I just want one practice that's going to do everything for me, I would say, excellent. Do the Heaven Earth Qigong meditation for a half an hour every day, twice a day. And if you did that, you would achieve enlightenment. Guaranteed. I put it in the beginners because, again, there's not a whole lot of things you have to do, and it will do everything for you. Completely fill your body with energy, ground you, etc., etc. So that is the first energy routine, Summoning the Immortals, guided interdimensional meditation. Do your Vedic mantra. If you've got one from me, you can get one. You can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com and get a reading from either me or one of my astrology apprentices. So you do the Vedic mantra 108 times and then close with the Heaven Earth Qigong meditation. If you do that, that is a safe, very powerful routine, very advanced routine, and you can be guaranteed, if you're doing that every day, you will ascend. I'm going to make that guarantee. If you do that practice every day, no matter what craziness is going on, no matter what ascension symptoms, just do that every day, no matter what. All right? So that's the routine number one. Now, the advanced. Advanced doesn't mean that you can't do it if you're brand new. Advanced means you're like, I want the most powerful stuff I can get my hands on. And so I've made that available to you as well. People ask me, which routine should I do? I'm going to tell you. So the advanced routine, you start with the 5-element Maoshan forms. Let's talk about why. Remember what I said earlier about having a friend in a higher dimension. You are looking at wanting to accomplish something which is impossible. Shifting to 5D in the third dimension is impossible. That's why even well-meaning, spiritually minded people are completely losing it, because they're not looking at anything from a dimensional perspective. Because no matter what they say, I've gone into meditation, I went to other dimensions. If they start talking about I saw demons, I saw ghosts, evil spirits, if they're filled with anger, if they're filled with fear, if they're filled with resentment, if they believe that evil is out to get them, if they believe they are a victim, that is a third dimensional mentality. Get outside of the third dimension, there is no such thing. So these higher dimensional beings, they have the ability to go forward in time, backward in time, to other time streams, to other parallel universes. And if you connect with them, they will start to teach you how to do that and or pull you into those places. I know, because it's been going on with me for the past 2 years. And again, as a third dimensional being, if somebody was just in a flat plane screaming about, I'm trapped in a box, I'm trapped in a box, and you'd be like, I'm going to help you. You got nothing to worry about. I have the ability to literally pick you up and put you outside of the box. Here, let me show you. And you tell that two-dimensional person, I'm here. So no matter what problems you come up that are impossible for you to accomplish, I can help you overcome them. And if you trust me and allow me to work with you, I guarantee you we will overcome everything. This is what I've come to realize. I'm bumping into three-dimensional, impossible situations until I realize the fourth dimension is time. And higher dimensional beings can go forward, backward in time. They can literally do anything that to us seems impossible. And it's not a question of whether or not they can do it. The only question is, are you connected to them? And do you trust them, and have you asked for their help? If you have done those things, then it is guaranteed you will shift. It is guaranteed your problems will go away. It is guaranteed you will overcome. So now, why am I talking about all of this? Because when you look at the 5-element Maoshan forms, you are actually shifting into higher dimensions. The reason why it's spirit fighting, I've told you this before, when you do these practices and you're working in the 8-pointed star, you're actually working in higher dimensions. My teachers told me this 30 years ago, and I didn't understand it until now. They said when you do these practices and you're facing these different directions and doing it in the proper order, a demon thinks you're appearing and then disappearing and then appearing behind them and disappearing, and then you're in 3 different places at once. And I thought to myself, I don't understand how that works. I can't see them. They're a spirit. How am I, a physical human, doing this? How am I able to be this, multi-dimensional being to them? And now I know why. When you take a look at this, I told you that this 8-pointed star, this is a diagram of higher dimensions. Now, this is a 2-dimensional representation of higher dimensions. So what happens is, light, as you know, all light, this is science, this is in spirituality, all light, sunlight, the light coming from the fire, the light coming out of your car headlight, your whatever light it is, your lamp in your house, all of that light is coming from a higher dimension. Physicists tell you that all light in the 3rd dimension is leaked from the 5th dimension. Now, when you have the 5th dimension, and then you have the 3rd dimension, the 4th dimension, which is time, when light goes through that, it casts a shadow. The 2-dimensional shadow that is cast onto the 3rd dimension from the 4th dimension is this. So a demon is a 2-dimensional being. So when you're fighting a 2-dimensional being with your physical hands, you can only do that with higher dimensional energy. And the demons, they believe that you're appearing and disappearing. Now, demons are nothing more than an external manifestation of people's internal 2-dimensional feelings. I've been an exorcist for over 30 years, and every time that I interacted with a demon, their names are not Beelzebub or the evil one. Their names are always fear, hatred, greed, self-devaluation, shame, lust. They're the horrible 2-dimensional emotions that we carry with us. And even though they have consciousness, that's all that they are. That means that your negativity is what you are fighting against. The ascension symptoms, all of these ascension symptoms are nothing more than 2-dimensional feelings. Notice on here, 10 symptoms of solar flash 5D shifting. You don't see intense unconditional love, bliss and joy, because those aren't ascension symptoms. That's the 5D reality. Your reactions to 5D are always going to be 3D lower human emotions. Got it? Now, put all that in. Now you're going to see, I made this video a few years ago before all of this, and I realize now how important it is. So this 8-pointed star is just a 2-dimensional shadow of something that's called a Merkaba. A Merkaba is a multi-dimensional symbol that represents higher dimensional experience. And what I've come to find out is that the movements that we do in the Maoshan 5 element, which if you're doing the wood element, you already know what I'm talking about. The movements are actually creating a Merkaba, and you become higher dimensional. Somebody looks at you with their 3rd dimensional eye, they don't see that because you can't see higher dimensions in the 3rd dimension. So you're just looking at this person doing these movements. But here I'm going to illustrate for you how you literally pull in higher dimensional energy from doing these practices. This is from a few years ago. Watch this. Okay, so those are no longer at maoshan.thunderwizard.com. Those are only found in the shop right here. There's the 5 element practices. Now, if you're not ready to commit to the whole routine, go ahead and start with the wood element. So start with the wood element because the wood element contains all of the other elements within it, and it's safe to do by itself. Once you get past wood and you decide you want metal, water, fire, and earth, then you're going to need to do them in sequence, or you're going to need to learn them all and do them in a practice. But if you're not sure, start with wood, and it will only help you. You can do the wood and then ground. So that's why I'm saying that the advanced energy routine is started with the 5 element Maoshan forms, because when you do that, now you can mentally, because physically fighting demons, you're physically pulling in higher dimensional energy and fighting demons, fighting your own internal resistance, your own negativity. But now you can do these practices and start intending, creating a different world. Things that are totally impossible right now. Start intending living in your 5th dimensional world, because you're pulling in higher dimensional energy, and you're literally, it would be the same as if that little 2-dimensional guy that's stuck in a box that can't get out because it's just a line, it's just a square that's keeping him in. He's now able to move up and over. He didn't have that ability before. These sets will give you the ability to mentally begin to imagine, intend, and start doing things that are impossible, which means going backwards and forwards in time. And we will start talking about this. We will start doing more classes, and when I get back to the States, we'll start doing live People can come for live seminars and things like that, and we'll start working on that. So you need to get it's best if you have the practices done and then you come and then we just fine tune them. But what we do is we do these practices and then we meditate. Then we do interdimensional meditation. You want to know why I'm able to lead you guys into these meditations and stuff is happening with the sun? I've spent 30 years doing, this kind of practice, learning to understand how to move within that 8-pointed star. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to stay in touch and keep creating that consensus. And that's what the live Zoom class and discussion group is about. These are the most powerful tools you're ever going to find, and I really recommend that you get into them. So you can go to thunderwizard.com, subscribe at the level for the live Zoom class and discussion group. These are for people who are doing the interdimensional meditations, and of course anybody who's doing any of the Maoshan stuff is also welcome. You saw me doing some of these strange moves with my hands. That is also found here at the 90-day challenge. That is called the Hands of Creation, and also the butterfly hands. Those can only be found at the 90-day challenge. Those are also doing the same thing. So if you don't want to go full blast into the wood, wet, metal, fire, water, and earth, learn that. You also learn that movements like that in the Summoning the Immortals. Okay? So again, let's take a look at the 2 Ascension routines. The first one for beginners is Summoning the Immortals. Do a guided interdimensional meditation. Do your Vedic mantra and then close with the Heaven, Earth, Qigong meditation. All of those things can be found on the combination of the free channel and at the shop at thunderwizard.com. The advanced for people who are dead serious. By the way, these people who are doing this, I'm telling you who you are. If you've been called to do these practices, it means that you are going to be an archangel. You are going to be a protector spirit. You are going to be somebody who in the 5D is going to empower and create a protective field. If any negative energy tries to come into the 5th dimension, you are going to be the one that goes, and that's going to be me too. We're going to go and we're going to be fighting these off. So you've heard about stories of Michael the Archangel flying and through the air and fighting the devil. That's going to be you, and these are the practices that will give you the ability to do that. And so if you want to lean into it in the advanced method, that's something that's there for you. 5-element Maoshan forms, the interdimensional meditation with the Huar breath pineal gland technique. That is also found at the shop. Go to the shop and you will find it. I may have a picture of it here. Is that it? No. Is that it? Nope. If I find it, I'll show it to you. Is this it? No. This it? Yeah, at the bottom there, the advanced Huar mantra technique for pineal activation. So that is part of the advanced. So my suggestion is to do the 5-element Maoshan forms, do interdimensional meditation, and use the Huar breath pineal gland technique, and then close with the Maoshan 3 ones meditation. Now, all of these can be found at the shop. The Maoshan 3 ones meditation is found here. I believe it's found here at the 90-day challenge. So all of these things are, this is why I've centralized everything at thunderwizard.com. So look, you don't have an excuse. I've given you the tools. I've shown you exactly what to do. You're struggling with money? Not a problem. Do the beginner routine. That's a lot cheaper. You're either going to get out of your 3rd dimensional block of I don't have enough money, which is a 3rd dimensional block. Great. Do these practices and find the money. I don't know where it is. Well, sell your stuff out of your garage. Get another job or use a credit card, borrow money. If you activate the higher dimensional energy and you continue to think outside of it. You continue to trust that you can learn to do things like go over walls, go into the future and the past. You have higher dimensional beings who are literally saying, I'm right here. I can see exactly what you could do to fix this. I know exactly what it is, but you have to trust me. I'll pick you up and put you there. I will do it. I will teach you how to do it, and or I will help you do it. If I know this is what's happening for me, it can happen for you, but you have to first stop with the I can't. You know, the biggest excuses are I don't have time and I don't have money. And those are the two biggest lies that have ever existed. Those things have never stopped me. I always run into normal 3D stuff and I always get out of it every time. And it's because I do these practices and I bring it into my mentality and I start intending. So we're going to keep doing that. But if you don't have the tools, then it's just going to be me talking at you. This is why the majority of people who listen to me on YouTube, they go here and they're a free subscriber at the thunderwizard.com website, not the YouTube site. That's always free. And then they never go beyond that. It's because you have to do the practices. You have to then do the practices, and then you then have to go beyond your limitation. You want to become Mr. Olympia? Well, then you're going to have to learn to add another 5 or 10 pounds and squeeze out another rep. You're going to have to push yourself. So if you want to do that, the people who are leaning into it, those are the people who are going to be the gods and the deities in the fifth dimension. You think I'm kidding? I'm dead serious. If you want that, it's available for you. Take a look at this and then go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe at the 90-day lightning qigong and get whichever things you need. And you've got the two versions there, beginners and advanced. And again, those of you who do that, I am willing to put together live seminars and we can keep working on this stuff. We'll keep talking about how to go beyond our dimensional limitations. That's it, my friends. I love you all. Thank you very much. And I will see you all very soon. Please take very good care of yourselves.